Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today, and I absolutely cannot believe that I have to talk about this. We have to talk about Facebook because Facebook may be ordered to stop selling youth data. And why didn't the FTC or Federal Trade Commission do this years ago? This is straight from a press release from the FTC yesterday from ftc.gov, and I think it's utterly ridiculous that I have to be talking about this right now, given everything we've known for the last 15 years about this god-awful company. And so we're going to break this down bit by bit, and I'm going to be quoting the press release from the FTC directly. And let's start with their opening paragraph, which is just unconscionable to me that we have to deal with this today in everything we know. And I quote, "The Federal Trade Commission proposed changes to the agency's 2020 privacy order with Facebook after alleging that the company has failed to fully comply with the order, misled parents about their ability to control with whom their children communicated through its Messenger Kids app, and misrepresented the access it provided to some app developers to private user data." End quote. That is alone an absolutely ridiculous position to be in. It's unconscionable to me again. And we're going to continue here with the FTC, and I quote, "As part of the proposed changes, Meta, which changed its name from Facebook in October 2021, would be prohibited from profiting from data it collects, including through its virtual reality products, from users under the age of 18. It would also be subject to other expanded limitations, including in its use of facial recognition technology, and required to provide additional protection for users." End quote. How about just shutting them down? I mean, they are data mining the bejesus out of us. If it's free to us, we're the product, I understand. But when this platform first came out 15 plus years ago, I think nobody really understood the deep ramifications of the data mining that we are seeing. And as we are becoming aware of this, it is utterly ridiculous that they are allowed to do this right now. It's absolutely unconscionable. And I continue from the FTC because, my God, it's crazy. And I quote, "This is the third time the FTC has taken action against Facebook for allegedly failing to protect users' privacy. The commission first filed a complaint against Facebook in 2011 and secured an order in 2012 barring the company from misrepresenting its privacy practices. But according to a subsequent complaint filed by the commission, Facebook violated the first FTC order within months of it being finalized. Months. Engaging in misrepresentations that helped fuel the Cambridge Analytica scandal." If you remember that in 2018, on a tangent here, that basically got tens of millions of Americans psychologically profiled by a third-party company to be used by political parties. It's utterly ridiculous. To continue with the FTC's statement, and I quote, "In 2019, Facebook agreed to a second order, which took effect in 2020, resolving claims that it violated the FTC's first order. Today, May 3rd's actions allege that Facebook has violated the 2020 order, as well as the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act rule, known as COPPA or COPPA. End quote. This is absolutely crazy. They are literally violating their own agreed upon terms and limits because it's profitable to them. And I quote the FTC again. A 2020 privacy order required Facebook to pay a $5 billion civil penalty. End quote. Sure, that's a slap on the wrist for a company at the time that was worth about $800 or $900 billion. That's nothing. That's chump change. That's what Mark Zuckerberg roots around his couch cushions and finds to pay the FTC. They're making way more per quarter, way more than that fine ever was. That's a slap on the wrist at best. I continue, and I quote, "The 2020 order also expanded the required privacy program, as well as the independent third-party assessor's role in evaluating the effectiveness of Facebook's program. For example, the 2020 order required Facebook to conduct a privacy review of every new or modified product, service, or practice before implementation and document its risk mitigation determinations. The order also required Facebook to implement greater security for personal information and imposed restrictions on the use of facial recognition and telephone numbers obtained for account security." Okay, fine. Those are all good things. But if Facebook has a consistent history of violating these orders, what on earth makes you think they're going to start doing this now or even deliver accurate information when all they're getting are slap on the wrist fines? I continue to quote, the independent assessor tasked with reviewing whether the company's privacy program satisfied the 2020 order's requirements identified several gaps and weaknesses in Facebook's privacy program, according to the order to show cause, in which the commission notes that the breadth and significance of these deficiencies pose substantial risks to the public, end quote. The FTC is literally saying that Facebook proposes a substantial risk to us, American citizens, our privacy. This is who they govern, and they're letting this company exist. It's unbelievable, and they're giving them slap on the wrist fines on top of it. I continue, and I quote the FTC once again. The order to show cause also alleges that Facebook violated both the 2012 and 2020 orders by continuing to give app developers access to users' private information after promising in 2018 to cut off such access if users had not used those apps in the previous 90 days. In certain circumstances, Facebook continued to allow third-party app developers to access that user data until mid-2020. So in other words, you haven't been using the app that's plugged into Facebook. Facebook essentially says, okay, or they're supposed to say after 90 days, you can't, app developer, get access to Facebook data or telemetry on that user. Facebook didn't care. Facebook violated that order. Facebook has been allowing third parties on top of Facebook itself to data mine you, even if you're not using their apps. It's utterly ridiculous. And I continue to quote the FTC. In addition, the FTC has asked the company to respond to allegations that from late 2017 until mid-2019, Facebook misrepresented that parents could control whom their kids communicated with through its Messenger Kids product. That is absolutely unconscionable to me. And if you have a child that is using Facebook Messenger to talk to you, and child predators or anybody else can get into that platform, screw this company. This is utterly ridiculous. And I continue with the FTC. Despite the company's promises that children using Messenger Kids would only be able to communicate with contacts approved by their parents, children in certain circumstances were able to communicate with unapproved contacts in group text chats and group video calls. The FTC says there are these misrepresentations violated the 2012 order, the FTC Act, and the COPPA rule. Under the COPPA rule, operators of websites or online services that are directed to children under 13 must notify parents and obtain their verifiable parental consent before collecting personal information on children, end quote. Meaning, Facebook was letting your kids into group video chats with God knows who, unapproved by the parents, and they're collecting data on your children. And this company still exists. My God. So that is what the FTC said, and then they go on to how they are going to fix this. And I have a suggestion for you, FTC. Why not shut them down? And here are their suggestions. Number 1, blanket prohibition against monetizing data of children and teens under 18. How did that work previously? Did that work well? Do I have to make another video in 5 years when they violate it again and you gave them another slap in the wrist? How about shutting them down? Point number 2, pause on the launch of new products and services. How about pause the whole freaking company and shut them down? Point number 3, extension of compliance to merged companies. Meta would be required to ensure compliance with the FTC, not that they ever have before, for any companies it acquires or merges with to honor those companies' prior privacy commitments. Screw that. If they're going to make money, fine them. They're going to make more. Screw that. How about shut them down? Point number 4, limits on the future uses of facial recognition technology. Meta would be required to disclose and obtain users' affirmative consent for any future uses of facial recognition technology. And when they get my consent or don't, they don't care. We have literally 10 plus years of them not caring about any of this. It's bullshit. The change would expand the limits of the use of facial recognition technology included in the 2021 order. Who cares? They're violating it. How about shut them down? Quote, and number 5, and finally, strengthen existing requirements. Why? You've been doing that for years. They don't care. Some privacy programs in the 2020 order would be strengthened, such as those related to privacy review. Not that that helped before third-party monitoring, not that that helped before data inventory and access controls, not that that helped before an employee training, not that that helped before. Meta's reporting obligations would be expanded to include its own violations of its commitment. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? This is a company that needs to go away. This is a company that is destroying society, driving a wedge through disinformation they can't control, data mining our children. What the hell is wrong with us? What the hell is wrong with our government? Why isn't this company shut down? Why isn't Mark Zuckerberg in jail? I have been talking about this for years. They continue to violate our privacy. They continue to violate our children's privacy. They continue to violate every law the FTC has at them. They get slap on the wrist fines that they can easily make back. And now on top of it, we've got Chinese companies based out of mainland China where Facebook isn't even allowed to operate as a platform for those citizens, propping up their stock price in the last quarter. It is utterly ridiculous that this company is allowed to exist. And if you are listening to me and you are with the FTC, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing to basically solve this issue? I am so sick of having to deal with Facebook, having to have these videos, having to make these podcasts, having to talk about this on my radio show, and all you do is do nothing but level laws and fines and rules on a company that doesn't give a shit and keeps on doing what they're going to do. Fuck them and fuck this whole situation. I am so done. Screw Facebook, screw the FTC. It is time to make drastic changes about this because, quite frankly, me being nice about this hasn't worked for the last 7 years, and it's not going to work for the next 7 because these people don't give a shit, and you and I should. And so if you are listening to this, my God, we have to do something. I don't care if it's writing our members of Congress. I don't care if it's organizing some kind of boycott that won't matter because there's 3 billion plus people on this stupid platform, but we have to get the word out. So fuck this company. I am done. I am so done. It is unbelievable to me. And what I'm going to do is take this and I'm going to give Facebook $100 to advertise this video on their platform to let them know, because I am done. I am done. And that is money well spent, because if I can get at least one person off this, that is money well spent. It's unbelievable. And if you have kids that are using Facebook Messenger or Facebook in any way, shape, or form, what the hell are you doing? This is unbelievable. We shouldn't be using this. For me, it's a marketing tool. I have no personal information on this. But if you are giving this company information, why? Why are you doing that? There is no reason at this point. And if you need a personal therapy group, my God, go spin up a Discord server and invite your friends. Go spin up a Slack instance for free and invite your friends. You're not going to be data mined in nearly the way that you're going to be now. It's unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. And so I'm going to leave it at that. I hate getting angry on these things. I'm usually very level-headed, but I am so fucking sick of this company, and that is your news of the day.